I've shared my screen. It's visible, right, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the first question I've shared on WhatsApp. Find the mean age from the following frequency distribution using the direct mean method and the assume mean method. So here you see that the class intervals are not continuous. The class intervals, they are not continuous. Let's read the class intervals: 5 to 14, 15 to 24, 25 to 34, 35 to 44. So you can see there's a break, right? The class intervals are not continuous. So we call such a distribution, the class intervals here, what do we call them? Class intervals of inclusive type. Inclusive type. Inclusive because the upper limit is included in the same class interval. The class intervals here are of inclusive type because the upper limit of every class interval is included in the same class interval. 14 belongs to the same class interval 5 to 14. 24 belongs to the same class interval 15 to 24 and so on. So since the upper limit of the class intervals here belong to the same class interval, that means they're included in the same class interval. These class intervals are said to be of the inclusive type. Inclusive type. Now, last year we have seen how to make class intervals of such type continuous. We'll see that a little later. But remember, to find mean, you don't have to make the class intervals continuous. But to find median and mode, you have to make the class intervals continuous. So how to make the class intervals continuous, we'll see that a little later. But for mean, you can see that the class intervals here of this distribution, they are not continuous. You don't have to make them continuous. You can find mean as it is using the formula. You will get the same answer. Now, if you ask me this question, what if I make it continuous? Will I get a different answer? No. If you make it continuous and find mean, you will get exactly the same answer. The answer will not change. So I have both the workings for you. I'll show you. So look at the distribution. The class intervals are not continuous. And to find mean, we don't have to make them continuous. You can directly go ahead to find mean. Now, how do we find mean using the direct method? So these columns are given in the question, the class intervals and frequency. Right? These two columns are given in the question. So you just need to write them out. And then to find mean, you'll have to always find the class marks, which are written under the XI column. XI, this column has the class marks of the class intervals. So how do you find the class marks? 5 plus 14 by 2, 19 by 2, 9.5. 15 plus 24 by 2, 39 by 2, 19.5, and so on. So like that, we find the class marks. So that's what we have in the XI column. And then we need to find, generate another column called the FI-XI column, where we write these products, right? So this is what we saw in the last class. Since I didn't, send the material for you to work, I'm just recalling it for you. Otherwise, we'll not recall like this in every other session. But since I did not send the notes on time, just helping you recall what we learned in the last class. So like this, we generate the FI-XI column. And this is the formula to find mean using the direct method. X bar is equal to sigma FI-XI by sigma FI. I did explain what sigma stands for. Okay, so sigma FI-XI by sigma FI. So the total of the FI-XI column by the total of the FI column, which is 34.875. Now we'll see the same thing when the class intervals are made continuous. Now, how do we make the class intervals continuous? Let's see that now. Now, take up any two consecutive class intervals. Take up any two consecutive, one after the other, okay, class intervals. Subtract the lower limit of the second class interval, or find the difference between the lower limit of the second class interval and the upper limit of the first class interval. See, write out any two consecutive class intervals. So I wrote 5 to 14 and 15 to 24. Now subtract, find the difference between this one and this one. So you can see the positions. Okay, find the difference between this and this. What's the difference? 15 minus 14, 1. Always divide the difference by 2. Always, whatever is the difference. The difference can be 2, the difference can be 5, 10, whatever is the difference, divide by 2. So here the difference is 1 and 1 by 2 is 0.5. 1 by 2 is 0.5. Now what you have to do is subtract that value 0.5, subtract 0.5 from all the lower limits and add 0.5 to all the upper limits. See, you can take any two class intervals. See, supposing you take this one and this one, but there must be two consecutive class intervals. So supposing you take these two. So what should we subtract? 35 minus 34. Lower limit minus upper limit. 35 minus 34, 1. Divide by 2, 1 by 2, 0.5. Now keep this number in mind, 0.5. Subtract 0.5 from all the lower limits. Which are the lower limits? 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55. These are the lower limits of the various class intervals. Subtract and add 0.5 to all the upper limits. So you will get new class intervals now. So this is how they look like. We'll just do one or two. So 5 minus 0.5, 4.5. 14 plus 0.5, because you're subtracting from the lower limit, adding to the upper limit. So 5 minus 0.5, 4.5. 14 plus 0.5, 14.5. Then 15 minus 0.5, 14.5. 24 plus 0.5. So when you do this activity, these are the class intervals you would generate. These are the class intervals you would generate. This is a different slide, children. This is a different one, meaning I have worked it without making the class intervals continuous. Even if you make the class intervals continuous, you will still get precisely the same answer. So here we have made the class intervals continuous. Then, so these are the new class intervals. That is, we have made the class intervals continuous. So these are the new class intervals. The frequency column is given to us in the question, and these are the class marks. These are the class marks. So you can see that the class mark does not change. You get the same thing. See here, whatever you got here, you get the same thing here. That's why it is not important to make the class intervals continuous. Anyways, the class marks are going to be the same. You add what is 14.5 plus 4.5? 19. You will get the same total. You will get the same total. 4.5 plus 14.5, 19 by 2, 9.5. Here, what is it? 5 plus 14, 19 by 2, 9.5. Same thing. The sum does not change. 15 plus 24, 39. Here, 14.5 plus 24.5. Upper limit plus the lower limit. 14.5 plus 24.5. It's the same thing, 39 by 2, 19.5. So even if you make the class intervals continuous, we see that the class marks do not change. We get exactly the same values as class marks. So you don't have to spend time making the class intervals continuous, and you get decimal values and adding that. And so you can just save your time there. So you can see the xi values are the same. So fi, xi values are also the same. The total is the same. So this is about finding the class intervals are of inclusive type. They are not continuous. They are discontinuous. They're not continuous. And to find mean, you don't have to make the class intervals continuous. And like this, we find mean using the direct method. Using the assume mean method, here also you can see. You get exactly the same answer. I have not shared this. These slides I have not shared, children, because you don't have to make it continuous. I have not shared these slides. So even if you make them continuous, you will get the same value for mean. Okay, let's see this slide where we have not made them continuous. Same question using the assumed mean method. Okay, so you can see the class intervals here. You can see the class intervals. We have not made them continuous. Okay, so we have to always generate the xi column. Always to find mean, you should find the class marks. You should find the class. After writing class intervals and frequencies, generate the class marks, xi. That's the next column. Then now using the assume mean method, we'll have to find the di column, which is xi minus a. And a, I told you, any value from the xi column, any value from this column, preferably the middlemost value. So a is 39.5. I have taken 39.5. And di is xi minus a. So xi minus 39.5. So like I showed you in the last class, minus 39.5. xi minus a, not frequency, xi minus a. So this is xi minus a, 39.5. This is xi minus a, 39.5. So like this, we generate the di values. After generating the di values, fi di. Fi di. Be very careful. Fi di. Multiply the fi value with the corresponding di value. Fi value with the corresponding di value. Fi di. Generate that column. And now find the total of the fi di column and the total of the fi column. And use the values in the formula. This is the formula. X bar is equal to a plus sigma fi di by sigma fi. So cancelling part I told you in the last class, you will not see it here. So you simplify, you simply cancel the zeros and all that. So you get plus into minus is minus 34.875 or 34.87. Yeah, since it's already 8:30, I'll not give you time to do this now, children. So leave some some space, a few pages in your book to complete all this. So I've shared this one and I think another one. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one. Find mean by assuming method. Correct. Yeah, so here the class intervals are continuous. You can see they're continuous. 0 to 6, 6 to 10, 10 to 14, 14 to 20. It's continuous. Find mean by assume mean method. So we know this. Write out the class intervals, frequencies, generate the class marks. From this one, take the middlemost value. I've taken 17. Find the di values. Then find the FIDI column. Substitute the values in the formula. So this one also you should not have any questions. Yeah. Then yesterday, sorry, in the last class, I think we concluded with this one. Yeah, this one. This also I've shared on WhatsApp. Yes, I have. So the question numbers you should ignore, children, because my presentation includes direct method, assume mean method, and step deviation method. But now that step deviation method is deleted, I have not removed them from my presentations. So whenever you write in your book, you don't write the question numbers you see in the presentation. You continue with the serial number in order. Like if you worked 3, then the next one is 4. If you work 10, the next one is 11. So you don't get confused with the question numbers you see in my presentation. Yeah, so this is the third one. So for you, it is a third one. 1, 2, this is the third one. This is not an inclusive series, it's an exclusive series. It's not inclusive, children, it's exclusive because the upper limit is by mistake. Okay, I'll correct this one. It's not an exclusive series. Then, sorry, it's not an inclusive series, it's an exclusive series because the upper limit is excluded from this class interval. It's included here. So if you look at 70, the upper limit 70, it does not belong to 63 to 70. It doesn't belong to this class interval. It belongs to the next class interval. So 70 is excluded from this class interval. So exclusive series. Okay. So till here, you'll have to complete in your notebook. So leave sufficient pages. Please complete all this. I think last class, Prenu gave us the correct answers. I think she was the one who announced the XI values and yeah, I remember that. Just a second, children. Yeah, sorry and thank you, children. So now we'll continue. I told you leave sufficient space to complete all this. Yeah. So now, so far we have learned how to find mean using the assume mean method, the direct method and the assume mean method. And you also understood that you don't have to make the class intervals continuous. Mean is not affected. When the class intervals are not continuous, mean is not affected. Yes, Shiva. So we'll be working this one now in the class. Look at the question. If x bar is equal to 62.8. So now this one we'll do together. The next one will be a test. You will be trying it and all of you will be getting the correct answer. So if x bar is equal to 62.8, find the missing frequency A. So you can see this in this, you can see that in this distribution, one of the frequencies is missing. 20 to 40, the frequency is not given. A, the frequency is given as A. That means it's a variable. The value, the frequency is unknown. So you'll have to find the value of that missing frequency. What is the value of A is what you'll have to find. That is why here they've given you the mean. See, the question is not find mean. How can they ask us to find mean? When one frequency is missing, how can we find mean? We can't find mean. That's why they've given you the mean. Then what is the question? Find the missing frequency. If everything is given, if all the class intervals and the respective frequencies are given, then we can find mean. But here one frequency is missing. We don't know the value of A. Then we can't find mean. That's why they're given us the mean. And with the help of that information, we need to find the value of this missing frequency A. So let's see how to do that. So generate the columns as usual. Generate the columns as usual. So write out the class intervals. See, I told you can exchange these two columns. You can write F5 first and then XI. So don't get confused with that. You can exchange the columns. You can write F5 first and then XI also. All right. Okay. Then generate the FI XI column. Same thing. But be careful when you multiply. Okay. Now when you write the FI XI values, 10 into 5, 50. 30 into A, 30A. 30 into A is 30A. 5 into 10, 500. Sorry, 50 into 10, 500. 70 into 12, 840. 90 into 7, 630. 110 into 8, 880. Now, when you find the total of the FI/XI column, be careful. Add all these numbers. Okay. And they add up to 2900. Write this 30A as it is. You cannot add 30 to 2900, right? You cannot add 30A. Correct. Now, if you have 5 plus 3A, it is not 8A. 5 plus 3A is not 8A. 5 plus 3A is 5 plus 3A. So that's the other important thing. Add only the numbers. Add these numbers. This is the total 2900. Write this 30A as it is. So the total of this column is 30A plus 2900. 30A, write this 30A as it is. Add the numbers, so plus 2900. And when you add the frequency column, that is the values in the frequency column, A as it is A. These numbers total to 42. So A plus 42. It's not 42A. When you add, it's not 42A. Be careful. A plus 42. You're adding, right? So A plus 42. Okay. Now we are given that x bar is equal to 62. So after preparing the table, write out the value of mean given. We are given that x bar is equal to 62.8. Write that. X bar is equal to 62.8. Now under x bar, write the formula. How to find x bar? Sigma fi xi by sigma fi. This is given to be 62.8. Sigma fi xi by sigma fi is given to be 62.8. X bar means this one only, no? So that is 62.8. Now substitute the values. What is this? 30A plus 2900. Sigma Fi A plus 42 is equal to 62.8. Cross multiply. So what do you get? 62.8 into A plus 42. You can see it here. 62.8 into A plus 42 is equal to 30A plus 2900. Or you can write 30A plus, see, you can also write 30A plus 2900 is equal to 62.8 into A plus 42 is also fine. So then you know how to work. Be careful while multiplying. 62.8 into A is 62.8A. Now we're finding the value of A, right? So gather the A terms on one side. So this one has A, this one has A. So have it on one side. The numbers, you put them on the other side. These are numbers. There are four things, right? There are four terms. There are four terms. Two terms have A in them and two terms are numerical. Of the four, two have A in it and two are numerical. Have the numbers on one side and the terms that contain A on one side. Because you can simplify A with A only, meaning you can simplify only like terms, right? So 62.8 and 30A, you can simplify them. Like 5A minus 3A. Yeah, it's 2A. They're like terms. So 62.8A minus 30A, 32.8A is equal to this number, this difference. So A is equal to, I don't think I have to explain ahead. A is 262.4 by 32.8. Shift the decimal point. So it becomes 2624 by 328. And you'll have to cancel. So I again repeat, canceling you cannot see here. So cancel, the value of A is 8. Yeah, please write down this. As you work, don't copy blindly. As you work, any doubt, please ask me immediately. Yeah, leave some space. I'm reminding you. Leave a few pages to complete what I've shared on WhatsApp. Yeah, and write out, work this in your notebook now. Are you all writing? Hope all of you are writing. Done, children? Finish writing? Okay.
Done, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, children. Over to the next one. I'll just teach you this other type and no, I think I'll give you a test and then go to the next type. So I'll just tell you what the next type is about. So in the next one, we'll have to find the values of two missing frequencies, A and B. So here you have two information given to you. One is mean and then the total of the frequency column. See here, the total of the frequency column was not given to us. Here, the total of the frequency column was not given to us, because if that is given, then you can subtract and find the value of A. No, if you know the total of the frequency column, if that is given, like say some 50, then how will you find A? 5 plus 10, 15, 15 plus 12, 27, 27 and again 15, 42. So 8 directly you can find it. No, I'm just saying, for example, if the total is given as 50, you can just add the frequencies known, then 50 minus that will give you the value of A. So it will not be given. When one missing frequency you have to find, the total of the frequency column will not be given to us. Only mean will be given. But when we have to find the values of two missing frequencies, we'll have two things given to us. Along with mean, we'll also have the total of the frequency column. N, capital letter N, stands for sigma Fi. Capital letter N stands for sigma Fi, the total of the frequency column. In statistics, N means sigma Fi, and sigma Fi means the total of the frequency column. The total of the frequency column. So this is the next type you're going to see, how to find two missing frequencies. All right, so before that, we'll just take a test on what we have learned now. Yeah, I think, yeah. Please try the fifth one second. Fifth one. Yeah, please work this one, children. If the mean of the distribution is 148.7, find the missing frequency M. The class intervals are not continuous. Don't worry, you don't have to make them continuous. Taken the question, all of you? Have you all taken the question? I'm going to unshare my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, if you've not written the question, yeah, please take a screenshot at least. I'm going to, because I've worked it in a different method, so even I have to work it along with you. Yeah, I've unshared my screen. You cannot see my screen now. Yeah, somebody read out the xi values. I want the xi values, please.
Ma'am, 125.5, 135.5, 145.5, 155.5, 165.5, and 175.5, ma'am.
Very good. That was Bhavishya, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Perfect. Now, so that it's easy to check our answer, we'll all take which is the middlemost value here? Do we have one or two middlemost value? Do we have one middlemost value or we have two in the middle? How many we have? Okay. You are doing by the direct method. I'm sorry, I'm confusing you. I have worked it using the assume mean method. Sorry. You continue. Done, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, who's that? Who's finished?
Ma'am, Bhavishya.
Okay, what's the value of M?
12, ma'am.
12.
Yes,
1,
ma'am.
2.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Read out your last step. M is equal to, what is that fraction you got?
2784 by 232.
Correct. Very good. Okay, I'll just share my screen now. Yeah, I've shared my screen, children. Visible, all of you? Visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Please check. Please check your xi values, fi xi values. So m into 125.5 is 125.5 m. When you multiply, like a into 5 is 5a. So m into 125.5 is not m plus 125.5. It's 125.5 m. There it is multiplication. Then when you add, don't add this one. Write that as it is. 125.5 m, write it as it is. Add the numbers. And that they total to 13,364. Here also, you should write this m as it is. Add the remaining numbers. Any doubt, children? All right. You have gone wrong with calculation somewhere. You'll have to correct it. So the last step, 278.4 by 23.2. So shift the decimal point because you'll have to shift one in the numerator, one in the denominator. So it becomes 2784 by 232, which is 12. So the value of m is 12. The missing frequency is 12. Yeah. So another thing for you is that you can also find this missing frequency m using the assume mean method. See, here we've used the direct method formula to find m. You can also use the assumed mean method formula to find m. To find the value of the missing frequency m, we have used the formula under the direct method, sigma fi xi by sigma fi. You can also work it like this. See here, the same question. See here, we found the value of m, it's 12, but using this formula, using the assume mean method formula. See, mean is given. So that mean can be equated to any method, meaning it can be equated to sigma fi xi by sigma fi or a plus sigma fi di by sigma fi. The formula under any method you can equate mean to. So accordingly, you should find the columns here. So when numbers are large, prefer the assume mean method. Calculations will be slightly simpler here, easier here. Easier meaning will be less time consuming. When the numbers are large, see in the class intervals, the numbers are slightly larger as against, like 10 to 20, 20 to 30, or we had 0 to 6, 6 to 10, whatever. So when compared to that, here the numbers are a little large, right? 121, and they're also not ending with 0 everywhere. It's 121 to 130, and you can see that the class mark is 125.5, 135.5. So you can make out that the numbers are large. So when numbers are large, use the assume mean method. Your calculations will be comparatively simpler. So when calculations are simpler, time saving. So then you should generate the DI column. DI column, find Fi DI. So X bar is equal to 148.7. This is given to us 148.7. So A plus sigma Fi di by sigma Fi is equal to 148.7. A we have taken as 155.5. From the Xi value, we have taken 155.5 as A. So 155.5 plus the total of the Fi di column is minus 30M minus 320. The total of the Fi column, M plus 88, is equal to 148.7. Now, how do you simplify this? So first, take this number to the other side. That's the first step. Take this number to the other side. 155.5 becomes minus 155.5 on the other side. So when you find the difference, it is minus 6.8. Now cross multiply. First, shift this one to the RHS. Then the difference is minus 6.8. Now cross multiply. Now cross multiply. And then you have 4 terms, right? There are 2 terms with M in it and 2 numbers. So have the M terms on one side. 2 terms of M, have that on one side and the numbers on the other side. So like this, we find the value of M. So you can see it's 12. So remember when the numbers in the class intervals are large, say if it is like 1000 to 1250, 1250 to 1500, 1500 to 1750. So the numbers are large. Earlier, we also had the step deviation method. So that was more useful. I don't know why they removed it from the syllabus. So that will further be easier. Further, it will make the calculation simpler. But we don't have it. So you have only these two. So you have the direct method and assume mean method. So you can use anything, anytime. But when do we use the assume mean method? When the values are large. So to save time in calculations, you can use the assume mean method. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of this and work this also in your notebook. Please take a picture of this one. Same question. We have found the value of M using the assumed mean method. So you should decide when you look at the question, you should decide which method you want to use. Accordingly, you should generate the columns. If you want to use the direct method, generate the columns as needed for that method. If you want to use the assume mean method, so you should work the columns accordingly. Okay, so take a screenshot and leave some space to complete this later. Go to the next type where 2 frequencies are missing. Yeah. In the following frequency distribution, if N, I told you what is N, sigma Fi is 40 and X bar is 544. Find the missing frequencies A and B. Okay. So column generation, you know. Column generation, you know. Write the class intervals, write the frequencies. Then you have to find the class mark. And then the FI/XI column because I'm using the direct method. So I found the FI/XI column. So be careful when you add. See, this one is 510A. That will come as it is. This one is 550B. You should write it as it is. Only the numbers you must add. Only these numbers should add. See the total here. Frequency, the total of the frequencies, A plus, okay, the total of the frequency column is given to be 40. So you can write that here. But it's also A plus B plus, what is 9 plus 4, 13, 13 plus 8, 21. So the total of the frequency column is A plus B plus 21. The total of the frequency column is A plus B plus 21. A plus B plus 21. That's also equal to 40. A plus B plus 21 is equal to 40. It's given. Okay. So after generating the columns needed, so it's given that n is 40. This is how we work. The answer is continued here. This is how we work. So we are given that n is 40. So that means A plus 9 plus B plus 4 plus 3 plus 5 is equal to 40. Is equal to 40. So A plus B plus 21 is 40. A plus B is equal to 19. That means A is equal to 19 minus B. A is equal to 19 minus B. Or if you're like wondering why should you write this? Okay, you stop here. A plus B is equal to 19. You stop here. You stop here. Now why we stop there? Because there are two unknowns. We can't find A or B. No, A plus B is 19. Now you cannot find A or B because one equation you should have only one unknown. When you have two unknowns, you cannot find anything. So we stop there. Now take up the other information given. What else is given? X bar is 544 is given. No, two things are given. N is 40. So using that, we have constructed one equation. A plus B is equal to 19. Using this information, n is equal to 40, we have generated one equation. Now use the other information. What is the other one given? X bar is 544. So use that and construct the other equation. So X bar is 544, meaning sigma Fi/Xi by sigma Fi is equal to 544. So substitute the values you've found. This one divided by this one. You can take 40 itself. Now you will ask me which one to take. Should I write what is the total actually? What is the total we got? A plus B plus 21. Now you'll ask me, what if we write A plus B plus 21? You'll get the same answer. See, the total of the frequency column is 40 is given in the question. But when we actually add, we get A plus B plus 21. You can use that also. You'll get the same answer. But why use that? When you have a number 40, why should you use A plus B plus 21? So don't use A plus B plus 21. But you will get the same answer even if you use that. We'll use a simpler one. One number is given straight away. So use that 40. The total of the frequency column is 40. Now cross multiply. Cross multiply and you get another equation in A and B. You get 510A plus 550B is equal to 9890. So you've got two equations in A and B. You've got two equations in A and B. A plus B is 19 and 510A plus 550B is equal to 9890. Now we're going to solve and find the values of A and B using the substitution method. Substitution method. So for that, this is what you have to do. Okay, we have A plus B is 19, no? So write A is equal to 19 minus B from this one and substitute this in the second one. In the second equation, where there is A, use 19 minus B. This is called a substitution method. We have to find the values of A and B. We have two equations. So what you do, you take up the first equation, write A as 19 minus B. Now what is A? 19 minus B. What is A? 19 minus B. So in the second equation, where you have A, write 19 minus B. So now what happens? In the second equation, A is not there. There is only B now. First we had A and B in the second equation. Now after substituting, A is gone. We have replaced A with 19 minus B. So in the second equation, we have only B now. See a B. So now we can solve this equation and find the value of B. That's how the substitution method works. So you will have two equations in the two variables. So here the variables are A and B. So you have one equation here, one equation here. So how to solve such equations? So from this equation, we write A as 19 minus B. And in the second equation, where we have A, we use 19 minus B. So what happens? A is gone. We have only B now in this equation. So we can further simplify this. Work this and find the value of B. And once you find the value of B, what is A? 19 minus B. What is A? 19 minus B. So 19 minus 5, 14. So the missing frequencies are 14 and 5. So this is how we work when we have to find the values of two missing frequencies. So yeah, so it's time, but we'll just complete this answer and then wind up the session for today, children. Yeah, please take down the question and answer it. As you work, if you have any doubt, you can ask me, or you can finish working and then ask me. Take down the question and then work the answer. I'll just come back. Please do your work. Done this one, children? Shall I take you to the next slide? Is this over?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll also share this image on WhatsApp so that if you have not finished, you can just use this image. Yeah. You don't have to write question number 5 solution again because I have taken the next slide. I've just written it. You don't write that again. You can just continue with given n is equal to 40. Done writing, children? Done writing, children? Okay, I've shared the images on WhatsApp. Class, use the emoji. Raise your hand. Sabarna, Sadhna, Swati, Bhavishya, Amritsa, Blessy, Hari Pranav, Srivatsan, Prenu, Akshada, Anirudhan, Niveda, and Jayvarshini. Very good. All right. All right. I've shared the images on WhatsApp, children. I hope you have completed, but if you haven't, please finish it with the help of the images on WhatsApp. All right, children. Yeah, any questions, please ask me. Any doubt?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right, children. So by Thursday, you should have finished everything of statistics. Whatever I've shared on WhatsApp, please complete it. If you're not writing the theory, please take a printout and stick it. So children who come to the physical class will get both their trigonometry and the statistics book. I need to check if you have completed your work. So please get both the books. Online children, you have to be good to me and good to yourself. So please do your work. Please follow the instructions I give on WhatsApp and during the sessions. So children who attend physical classes must get both the books, trigonometry and statistics. Make sure you have completed. Don't get two empty books. I want it with the notes in it. And you should write it. Don't ask your parents to write it for you. All right, find time. So you need to plan. So now if you have not finished, go through how much I've sent and just check how long you would take to complete it. So that time you should plan. So tomorrow is Sunday. With your other work, you should also give time for this and complete it. Now, don't think the class on Thursday. Okay, let me see you on Wednesday. Don't procrastinate. Because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you'll be busy with your school. Then Wednesday evening only you'll realize, oh, I have to complete this for tomorrow's class. Do not procrastinate. Do it tomorrow itself. By tomorrow, this work should be complete, trigonometry as well as statistics. All right. All right, children. So that's it for today's session. Thank you so much. You may leave the call. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, children. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good night.